And you've touched on a few things already, but I'm going to have you kind of narrow it all down into just top 3 recommendations for people who want to maintain joint health and mobility as they age.
Well, I think one is resistance exercise. That's a key thing to resistance exercise. 2, I would say daily stretching, working on flexibility, movement, range of motion. And I think 3 is protein, like just maintaining a level of protein in your diet. We talked about amino acids and stuff like that, but just however you like to get protein in your body, whether it's supplements combined with food, but really maintaining the protein in your body. So when you do your exercises, you maintain your muscle mass and you have those building blocks.
Great recommendations. And we've talked about resistance training. Can you underscore again why for any age, resistance training and movement can be safe and support one's orthopedic health? Because I think a lot of older people start thinking, well, I'm too old to start lifting weights.
Oh, right. I think that's a great comment. I think a lot of older people say, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to, I had a guy in the office yesterday who goes, I went to this trainer and he thinks, the guy thinks I want to be Muhammad Ali, I want to be this big boxer fighter. I go, no, I think it's very, very important to do resistance training. And like we always, the classic comment, higher reps, lower weight, lower weights, but resistance, it can be a 5-pound weight. It doesn't have to be 30-pound weight, because we obviously don't want people to get injured and tear tendons or damage joints, but having some resistance against your body, on your upper body, on your core, on your lower legs is very important. That's how the muscle builds. And so you may not build a lot of muscle as you get very older, but you're going to maintain what you have. And so maintaining what you have or trying to build a little bit is very, very important. And it's safe to lift weights. It's very, very safe. And it's actually, like we said earlier, very healthy for your bone density. And so having resistance is probably the most important thing that you can do to have a healthy lifestyle and be very strong. And if you read a lot of these longevity books or listen to some podcasts, they talk about getting up off the floor. Someone should be able to get on the floor and get up. And so if you think about that, it sounds very simple, but a lot of people can't do it. A lot of people cannot do that. And I myself do that with my trainer, do a lot of up and down off the floor exercises to really work on that balance and strength. And it really, really helps to do some simple exercises to help build that muscle and keep your body strong as you age.
So in your opinion, what does it really mean to age well?
I think to age well is being able to there's a freedom in aging well, in that being able to travel, being able to, be independent, drive a car, being able to go for a nice long walk at the beach or down the street or on a trail. I think aging well is being able to maintain a level of activity where you can enjoy the world around you. I think that's the most important thing, because we get a lot of joy from that. You go on a nice hike and you smell the fresh air and you smell the trees and have great, views of a vista. That's therapeutic to people. And I think that being able to do those things are wonderful. And I think also being able to, you have grandkids, being able to take your grandkids to the park and walk around with them, being able to travel with your children, whether it's going, like in California, going to Disneyland or, going to the beach. I think that being able to be active with your grandchildren and your children, I think is very, very important for not only your physical health, but your mental health.
Okay, so the next question is one I ask of all my guests on this show. What are you doing personally to age well? You talked about lifting weights. What else?
So I work out with a trainer 2 to 3 days a week. And I also recently, I hadn't been doing it for a long time, but I recently got into cycling. I've been doing road biking. We had a group of friends that we've been doing some cycling a lot. So I just rode 40 miles last Saturday and 50 miles on Sunday. So I'm getting some long cycling, which I'm loving. I love the wind on my face. I mean, in California, I can go all the way up and down the beach. You know, they have a nice trail up and down the beach. So, the ocean is there. You get the breeze, you smell the ocean, which is wonderful. And then I'm also an obsessive golfer. So I love to golf. So it's I walk the course. So when you walk, our course is probably about 7 miles walking.
Wow.
Maybe a little longer. So so I walk the course, and that's part of my exercise. But I just love being outside, and I also love golf for for the mental health, because it's nice to talk with your friends and tell stories and catch up with people. So that's nice for me.
So golf they teach in med school, right? But they don't really teach enough about nutrition and exercise science, if I understand
Exactly.
med school.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so much of what we learn, all the, what's crazy is that every single operation that I do now, I never did as a resident. The approaches are the same, but the technology that we use and the things that we do are completely different now. And the things that we talk about, supplementation and exercise and maintaining muscle mass and bone density, these are all new concepts that we really didn't really understand back then. And I think that the information is going at a high speed rate, and now with AI it's going even faster. And I think that it's a wonderful time to be a physician. It's exciting. It's so many breakthrough ideas, and it's a pleasure to keep up with it, because it's so fun and fresh and new. So after 20 years in practice, I'm still having fun and still enjoying everything I do. And I wake up, I tell my wife all the time, she goes, "Are you ever going to get tired of being a doctor?" I go, "No, I wake up every day happy. I love going to work and I enjoy it."